Pace looked good out there today. Talk me through it. How good was that in FP2?
Yeah, FP2 was good compared to FP1. FP1 was just didn't make any sense with how hot the track was, so it was not like reliable informations, I would say. FP2 was made much more sense, and yeah, on one lap pace again we were quite strong. I had a good feeling with the car. Still room for improvements, because I would say this was actually our first real session today, so yeah, a lot to look forward to tomorrow.
When the conditions cooled in that evening session, did the grip come back? Did it feel a little bit more drivable?
It was worlds apart, I have to say. This morning was really not enjoyable. Now it was back to pretty much F1 standards, I would say. Yeah, it was big difference.
How optimistic are you about being able to fight again for Q3 tomorrow?
I think I'm always optimistic, because I know I'm gonna put the work in tonight and tomorrow. But yeah, definitely we're still, I would say, in the mix. But it's gonna be a hard fight.
Were you surprised at the gaps around you? Because it looked quite close in that top 10 behind the McLarens.
Yeah. Actually, no, it's not surprising. It's what you would expect in the midfield. So, yeah, I know tomorrow is going to be about details.
Ian, talk to us about how you found today, especially FP2.
FP2 was more tricky for us, weirdly, because FP1 was track conditions were an absolute disaster. I don't think I've ever driven such a difficult session, to be honest. Yeah, FP2 balance went away from us a little bit, but in general, I think the car's in a pretty good place. It's just fine-tuning, and obviously tomorrow we have a session in the day, which is not going to help us for quali, but so obviously we'll be looking into this session and taking what we can for quali tomorrow.
This is a track that, of course, you all have so much experience racing at. How are you feeling when you look ahead to qualifying the race? Do you feel like that's going to make things even closer than on a typical weekend? Where do you think you're going to be in the mix?
For sure, it's. I mean, I made a pretty big mistake in FP2, and it absolutely dropped me down. So for all of us, we have to absolutely nail the lap, because otherwise it's very, very costly here. With everybody doing testing, yeah, I think everybody has a pretty good car, and it's cool because right now Formula One is a bit like that. You know, the difference between a really good lap and a bad lap can completely change your position. So it puts pressure on us.
Yeah, very hot session out there today. Only the one session for you today.
Yeah, only one session. I think we got up to speed pretty quickly in the short run, and then in the long run we struggled with a bit of car balance issues and tire issues. But yeah, we'll do our homework tonight to see if we can get it sorted.
You mentioned homework there. You've got plenty to look over. Got any decent lessons from that one session going into qualifying
yeah,
tomorrow?
definitely the biggest lesson is that the track and the car feels completely different to the winter test here, so we'll need to adjust things quite a lot to make sure that we can hit the sweet spot tomorrow.
Makes the car look decent out there, if not spectacular. Just give me a kind of read on how today went.
Yeah, maybe not quite as competitive as we were in winter testing, I think. Just got to be alpha dog. Got to show him who's boss. Got to show him who's the number one. Yeah, we were maybe not quite as competitive with the heat. I think we maybe fell back a little bit. We expected a little bit of the issues that we were facing this weekend. I think it exposed some of the balance issues that we only have at this track, and something a bit interesting. So we're going to try and figure out how we can improve that. I honestly think if we can fix that, we've got a much better car. So it's mainly in the low speed that we need to focus on, and if we can fix that, we'll be competitive. But yeah, that's where the work is overnight.
Just talk me through that moment and how it kind of unfolded from your perspective.
Sorry.
That moment with Luke. Just
Yeah. Honestly, obviously, most probably scared the rookie daylights out of him, but a little bit of a miscommunication. I didn't hear him coming on the radio, but no one's fault really. We were in the middle of a very busy run plan. So was Luke, and one of them things. But luckily, he did a good job to miss me, to be honest.
And just taking it back to this weekend, I know you said this track kind of exposes a few things specifically here.
Yeah.
If you can kind of get things together, because you've found answers over the course of the first 3 weekends, can you fight for Q3, do you think?
Yeah, we can, I think so. I think, again, the RBs look strong. They look very quick now. Surprised by the Haas, and I think Pierre's been quite quick here and there. So We know it's going to be close. The good thing is it's not like the car feels good. There's lap time on the table.
Fernando, let's talk about FP2. We saw that you were struggling with some steering wheel issues there. Can you just talk us through what was going on there?
Yeah, the car was not working, and I could not shift gears at one point. So yeah, I had the dash off, so I could not communicate with the team either. And yeah, in the last corner, the wheel was off. So yeah, we realized that maybe the steering column or the wheel or something had a problem. So yeah, the mechanics quickly changed the parts, and everything was fine. So yeah, a moment there, but yeah, thanks to everyone in the garage to fix it quite fast.
Yeah, a very unusual moment, but you were able to get back out there. How did you find the rest of the session? I know you've not had a chance to look at the data and things like that, but just speaking to Lance, he said he doesn't feel like this circuit is going to be suited to the car. Points will probably be quite difficult. Where do you feel like you're at?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough weekend. You know, unfortunately, we seem not to have the pace before coming here. The characteristics of Bahrain was a little bit of a concern for us, for our package, and yeah, probably we confirm it today that we are not competitive. So yeah, it's going to be a tough weekend, but we will try to learn, we'll try to push, and we are not giving up. You know, the race is long on Sunday.
Just talk us through how you found today's session, more notably FP2, and where you feel like you guys are at.
Yeah, I think we have some work to do. I mean, we seemed a bit on the back foot today, so we'll see what we can come up with tonight.
And looking ahead to the weekend, of course, I know you've not had a chance to look at the data or anything like that. But coming into the weekend, I guess, where did you guys feel like you are? Do you have high expectations? Whereabouts in the pecking order?
No, I think it's not really our kind of track. So I think it's, yeah, not an easy weekend for us with the nature of the circuit.
But hopefully able to extract. Where do you think you'll be hitting in the points, or do you think that's going to be too much for
No,
reach?
I think we're pretty far back this week.
Talk to us about how you found the running today, but more specifically FP2, where obviously it was the more representative session.
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny day. You know, obviously it was the first real hot conditions that we ran in this year. So yeah, certainly some interesting, I think, things came up and out that we're obviously, you know, digesting now overnight and looking at. P2, yeah, the soft run for me wasn't great. Yeah, it just was a bad run, to be honest, and you know, didn't maximize the potential there. So you know, definitely a couple of things to look at and to learn and to clean up for tomorrow. So yeah, that's it, pretty much, pretty standard Friday otherwise.
You said it was just a bad run for you in FP2. Do you feel that going into the competitive
It
sessions...
happens. It's like a bad interview. Does that happen to you?
You say this to me all the time, Nico.
It does happen.
They're going to think there's actually an issue between us. Anyway,
Absolutely not.
getting into qualifying and into the race, where do you guys feel like you are? Where do you think you are in the pack if you had been able to put together?
Yeah, I think, you know, you saw Gabriel obviously had more like a normal run, and he was in P13, so I think we're around there somewhere. It's very tight to the front and to the back as well. So yeah, so somewhere around there, that Q2 region.
Very hot conditions today out there. Would you like to run me through both sessions for you today? Any comments on them both?
Yeah, so FP1, I mean, very hot track. Unusual. Probably the hottest track I've ever driven in a Formula 1 car. Very dirty track as well, so, you know, balance was all over the place. But yeah, we managed to analyze everything very well and do a decent job for FP2, putting the car in a good balance.
Obviously, FP2 being very representative of the conditions we're probably going to have for qualifying tomorrow. Did you learn anything in particular in that session to go ahead into qualifying and give you some optimism?
Honestly, I just drove it, but we need to now have a look at data and understand everything. I think that's the most important, one of the most important parts of the day is when we go back actually to the office and understand everything we have done and the direction we need to go for tomorrow. But driving-wise, felt good, felt a decent lap, and the balance felt okay. So let's keep going in this direction as a team.
Only one session for you today, but you looked pretty confident out there in FP2. Talk to us about how that was for you.
Yeah, it was a nice session. Struggling a little bit to get a good feeling with the car. I had some brake issues that I was struggling with for the whole session. But still, looks like on low fuel we were pretty competitive, and we tried to long run this off to see if it was a good tyre for Sunday. So we'll see what the data says. But pretty happy with it today, even if I did just only one session.
You said that you were trying to get to grips with the car. You had some issues, but for you to finish as high as you did, that's pretty good going. Then, do you feel like this new floor is really working? Is that part of the contributing factor?
I definitely think so. It's working as expected, and that's great because the team pushed it forward, and we were able to bring it very quickly. So proud of them for that, and it seems like we can run the car quite aggressively now, which is great for performance. So yeah, hopefully we can keep up this good performance into qualifying tomorrow and eventually the race.
Van, things looked really good this morning when the conditions were very hot. It looked slightly tougher in the afternoon. Just talk me through your day.
Yeah, I think a difficult session. Obviously, not really anything much to read, on the FP1, but a lot more in FP2. So we'll, gather more data, after today. But yeah, it was a difficult session for us. We still, struggled in Suzuka with a bit of bouncing with the car. With some top speed as well that we're lacking. We should be a couple kph quicker. And yeah, we will keep working to try and find this, obviously for tomorrow, but at the moment, yeah, it's still the same issue, unfortunately.
I know across the Japanese weekend you were maybe a little bit lost to an extent of why the car pace wasn't there. Did you at least have better feels today with the car, even though there's a lot of work?
We keep working on it. As a team, we are trying our best to try and figure that out. But no, at the moment it's very similar.
An end to a very hot day in Bahrain. Talk me through both sessions today. How it felt for you in the car.
Well, this morning the grip was extremely low, especially after the winter test. So we kind of had to reset, but yeah, it felt good in FP1. In FP2, the first run was extremely hard as well, and when we put the soft tonight, just had massive struggle. So I think we just got to understand that compound a bit better.
So you say that the soft's obviously giving you a bit of a struggle. Do you have any optimism or any learnings going into obviously qualifying tomorrow in representative conditions?
Yeah, I mean the car felt really good on that hard. So I think it's more in terms of like tire usage and the way we do the warm up and optimize it over one lap. So. Yeah, I'm optimistic for tomorrow. It's extremely tight, so just gotta do our homework tonight and then make sure we get it right tomorrow.
How did FP2 compare to FP1 today?
Yeah, better for sure compared to the FP1. Struggled quite a lot in FP1. Still not 100% happy on my side in FP2, and not the cleanest of laps. It's quite tricky out there with the conditions, heat and the wind. So putting a lap together, it's probably going to be the same up the grid. But again, it's so close. I think 2/10 and we're P9, close to P8, and that's the difference between being just in Q2 and into Q3. So we need to keep our heads down.
Obviously, very fine margins. Obviously, to get up those position places. Is there anything that you're looking at tonight to really improve on for tomorrow in qualifying?
Yeah, I think just to touch again. I made a couple mistakes over the end of my lap, which cost a couple of tenths, and a couple of tenths is from the difference of P14 to P9, which is the difference of the potential of points or not. And then also just piecing the machine together a bit better and getting the fine tunings. P3 will be a little bit irrelevant considering the conditions again being so hot, but we just need to push through that and focus on qualifying.